shodo-x!
Fire! Authorize.
Hey guys, welcome to the 31st episode of the Soda Pop Podcast. As always, I'm your host, the Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have...
Flaming Tiger, Hidden Dragon? They'll probably do a dragon at some point. Hi.
That wasn't a robot voice. What happened?
I was going to do one for double, but then it turned out it wasn't going to be another double.
Well, there you go. Hey, we lost to Josh because he's at home and his Wi-Fi's not the greatest, so send him some love over on Twitter. But, you know what else isn't here? Another. Because that wasn't in the news. But what is news? We'll talk about that. And then we'll talk about, our podcast topic. Got some follow-up from last week. And then we're going to talk about Chronicle Deno 2. And then see where we land. If we need more time, then we'll do another topic. But if not, that's where we're at. Malunis, I feel like due to this hand situation, this sassy hand situation,
Yes?
this one's on you. What do you make of this news, my friend?
Okay, so the first thing that the blog talks about, I kind of want to just give this a quick shout out, even though we don't normally talk about this stuff.
Go for it.
Candy Toy and Gashapon Progrise keys are actually going to have the mod gear in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it seemed like it was such a simple sort of gadget that it could have easily just been this thing that Premium Bandai was just like, only some people are probably going to be interested in this, so you're going to have to pay a premium.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out the sounds that they're including actually do include some text-to-speech, so that's cool.
Oh, that's dope. I'm wondering, since they are committing to at least like a retail version of these guys, if they're going to play a bigger role later. I mean, I'm sure like the another ride watches, those served a pretty big role, but you know, they got relegated to premium.
In a way that made it very difficult for you to display all of them together.
Yes, very much so.
I don't know, maybe this is in response to that, I don't know.
I guess. So what else is here? What else is there, my friend?
The start of the Soto-01 AI 2.
All right. What we got?
Lots of paint still.
Lots of paint. Dude, there is lots of really nice red paint. It pops.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I was looking at it, and I saw the legs, and I'm like, that's got to be sticker, because there's too much red paint here. But it wasn't. Like, all of this is paint. I don't get it, man. Where did this budget come from?
I know.
One tiny head was holding all that budget.
Like, when he introduces it, he says something like, even in AI-02, I am still adding tons of paint, and there was like a ... as if exhaustion.
This man is insane, and I love him.
Yeah, and
yeah, this stuff's dope.
Another cool thing about Flaming Tiger is because this form has different colored hands, they're actually giving you alternate hands for that.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, an extra pair of hands that are just kind of like angled out, which, by the way, I was making custom hands for my future writers. This is literally the kind of hand that I wanted to make for Ginga.
That is exactly why I wanted you to take this topic. I was like, oh man.
It's like,
well, this is either going to be very mad or very happy that these exist now.
I'm excited and also annoyed that I'm going to have to probably buy an extra somewhere just to get these hands.
That's fair. I mean, you could probably buy the box instead of the set.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like...
But that's what...
Yeah,
that's
in
what
comparison, the... Thanks, Malunis. But in total, you're going to have 5 sets of hands. What are they going to do? What's happening here? We might have to get sassy.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
explain that joke.
Yeah. Okay, so you'll notice there are five sets of hands, and the display base only stores 3 sets of hands. So they built this brand new part, so that you can plug it onto the stand. It's like a strut. You can plug it onto the stand, and it has 3 more ports for hands, because this strut takes up the spot of one of the hand slots, so it has to make up for the one it's taking by adding 3. And it's called the wrist SASSER. The wrist SASSER. This is my favorite thing now. Like, in GO, we didn't get this luxury. Like, I was for sure thinking that by the end of this, like, there will be some figures that can't store all their stuff. Like, my main gripe right now is not having enough room for all my Waz heads to be stored on the stand, but they're not leaving you in the dark here. They see that there's a problem, and they decided to fix it with this strut, the wrist SASSER, and it looks great.
Oh, I see what part translated to SASSER. I don't know what that word is, though.
Yeah. Beats me.
SASSER is all I see.
Oh.
I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Okay. SASSER.
Yeah,
is the Americanized one.
When I put it into Google, the first thing I see is something called SASSER Group.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this sadly though, this is like it. This is all we got. Like, they showed us what I call the wave layout. Like, the fact that Tiger doesn't actually have weapons, I'm sure, is what drove them to giving us that extra set of hands and the wrist strut.
Yeah.
The wrist SASSER. And I have a feeling as well, like, they were planning for this at the beginning. Like, I have a feeling they knew that even more hand options were going to be available, and this strut was in development.
Like, it's funny you should mention that, because this reminded me, back when they introduced the display stand, he mentioned something like, we added all these peg holes in the event that there are going to be more hands.
Yeah.
And also here he makes this comment like, I thought about whether or not we could add more hands once 01's production began. Mm-hmm. So he was actually actively thinking, I wonder if I can squeeze in some more alternate hands in this line. That's what it sounds like.
Right.
Just like us, he's a dork.
But yeah. The fact that they couldn't improve on the sculpt, and then they just throw hands at us as the improvement, I'm all for.
I can also
give me one moment.
I can also see how it was just like, because as you can see from these close-ups, the hands are different than the usual 01 hands, because he's got that flamethrower. So I guess it was a situation where they're like, well, we're already making alternate hands. We might as well add something else to this mold to kind of justify it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it probably took up the material spot for the weapon, where that would usually go. Because, you had to fit 6 hands in the strut.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did.
And
I didn't even realize. I was thinking, I wonder why they felt the need to put all of Flaming Tiger's hands next to the default hands. I just realized because those come with the body.
Yeah. But yeah, that's sadly it.
I guess small thing.
It was
small thing at the end. They also say that AI02 will be coming out in November. Just to let you know.
Oh yeah. Well, they also said that at the end of the post, next week we will continue with a sample review of AI01. Sorry I made you wait. From Strategic Motion Combo Change 2. Taja Dole, Combo Shouta Combo, Putilla, and Combo. Here of the image, first public open.
That's what
it says.
And those
are in red, yellow, and green text.
That's what it said.
So I'm guessing... Huh?
That's what it said.
Yeah, that's certainly what it said. So next week, I'm sure we're going to be getting our in-hand looks at O's, and that should be out soon, right? That's
December.
December. Yeah, that's 2 months away. Yeah. Oh, hello. I should really turn my sound off.
I like the way that he kind of wrote this out like the episode titles for O's, where he just says review and images and plenty of other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know about you, but I was like looking up and down this thing after I'd run through the whole thing, and I was like, that can't be it, right?
Where's the hidden code?
Because we didn't get follow-up on another.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was, like, going to be our thing for a while.
Yeah, because, like, last time it seemed like it would just kind of suddenly spilled out at the last second.
Yeah.
That's the trend.
Man, what happened? Yeah. Like, we went from having so much news each week to, like, a bit of a drought. Like, and it's not to say, like, the hands aren't I don't think we've had option hands like this outside of maybe the tilted wrists we got with the Gaim armor.
There were a couple other sets of hands, but it was more like
pointy hands,
and also
two different pointy hands for double and
that's true,
the pose.
And with the pointy hand for Zio, it seemed like they were kind of squeezing that out when they could, because they released one and then they released the other. Mm-hmm. But then there was also Gates had the chopping hands, which are easily forgettable.
Right. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, like outside of the chopping hands, the options always seemed so homogenized. Like it would always have that bow in the center, that like lifted up thing, and you know what I'm talking about? Like it's not quite all the way out. It's got the fray to the fingers, mm-hmm. and but now it's like full on palm out, like an actual natural way for a hand to mm-hmm. be placed. I don't know. The open hands always felt a little unnatural to me.
I am very interested in having more hands like the one with Gaim armor, where it's just you kind of have them holding the sword a little bit more naturally.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that. I really like that one. I was just saying for like the open hand options.
But that's related in the sense that it's a little bit more natural.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. So yeah, that's neat. I'm very happy for these. Mm. That's all the news, so I guess we'll move on into our topics. And the first up, for basically follow-up on last week's episode, we had asked you guys what you thought about us opening a Discord server. And again, this is not for like Soto Pop as a whole. We just wanted a space to talk about candy toys. It's not like you know the Power Ranger Discord where it's all about Power Ranger, and like RRR Discord where it's all about that. It's just like general candy toy one where we can talk about the latest releases. And you guys responded. I got 2 comments on YouTube. We'll talk about those in a sec. But we ran a poll on Twitter. And, I voted. But ultimately, 10 people total voted. And it was 7 in favor, 3 against. So
because you voted, we can now say that we had a double-digit vote.
Yeah, that's right. Who knows if Josh voted. But we also got, and this is sort of what tipped it for me, we got 2 comments. One, obviously from Peacemaker2448, saying, a Discord for Soto would be cool to have. I did have a thought for what would be a good introduction for Soto, since we have so many different ways with the multiple main lines and chronicles. I think that was a different point that he was making. But, yeah. He wanted to Discord. And also, a brand new commenter, Adid Nuva? AI did Nuva. I'm sorry. Those three versions of how I said your name, probably all incorrect, wildly incorrect, maybe even a little offensive. I am so in for a Soto Discord. I can share pics of my collection. Plus, it helps to have multiple ears to the ground when new Soto orders happen. And I feel like the impetus behind this is sort of to have that resource to go to.
Mm-hmm. Because none of us know where the pre-orders for 01 are.
Oh yeah, 100%. So if like he was saying, or she, if they were saying, if we could have a lot more people zeroing in on pre-orders and stuff and being on top of it, that would be so cool. We could all get it. Yeah. So we're opening one, and full transparency, we're using it right now. We're in the voice channel talking to each other. I just gotta spruce it up and make it look good. By the time this episode goes up on one of two platforms, you'll see. We'll talk about that later too. Then it'll probably be ready. If not, it should be soon. Just keep an eye out on our Twitter. And we'll notify you guys. And if you haven't heard anything for a while, next week we'll definitely say something about it if there's an update around it, what have you, all that stuff, all that good stuff. So yeah, Discord is coming. It's actually here, and we're sprucing it up. That's basically the main point. I can't wait to I don't know, hang out, talk to you guys about Soto and all that stuff. And I guess other candy toys. The Discord is going to be named the Candy Toy Corner. So, yeah, I get to use that name because I had it before for another thing, and now it's here. Yep. All right, cool. So, Malunis.
Yes.
I bought toys a while ago. And what I got was Den-O 2. Chronicle Den-O 2.
Oh, that's not surprising. Okay.
No, yeah. I mean, I like them. Now, you're really only getting 4 figures out of the Chronicle release, but I feel like that's more or less par for the course for getting a box of Soto. The thing is, though, like, I had been in the funk of Geo for a long time, so that meant buying the set, making maybe 2 of them out of the box, and then realizing, oh, now I have a body and 3 different armors, or 2 different armors. So, like, I can't completely build one, and I don't have the brain space to want to choose which one I want now, so I'll just wait. So it was a nice experience getting to open it and sticker and play with everything at once. Like, for me, that's one of the biggest parts of the experience, is how many on the ground level I'm able to make and play with immediately. And this really does it for me. And I was listening back to when I was talking about Double and how I was saying, the retail set, the one and only retail set, seems like a microcosm of forms that I would definitely want, like a really good taste, a cherry pick taste of what I would want out of it, but it's not a good taste of the play pattern. Here, like for the first set, we got a really good taste of the play pattern, and moving forward, we've got wing form, 2 climaxes, and a liner form. And it feels like I'm getting a good play experience with all of them. Like, each of them, they don't rely on the play pattern as much as Double did, but they each have their own sort of play pattern to them. Climax and Cho Climax, the best thing for me is that they came in, they basically gave you 2 Climax forms and then the Cho Climax upgrade set. So you were able to do that like right out the gate. You didn't need to track down another.
Like
which was
they
awesome.
give you enough bodies and armors for it.
They definitely do.
Nice.
They actually set you up with an extra liner form, either armor or body, because I got an extra armor in mine, and then I was watching Chris Long's unboxing, and he got an extra body. So I feel like that's a good way for them to redistribute that. But it does leave you with one extra, which isn't bad. Actually, that's really great in terms of the realm of extras. Like, that's great. Mm-hmm. And you use everything. When I say that this is a complete experience, I meant it. Like, you don't have to track down anything else, like, even for the extra parts. And it was really awesome that they gave you the name sticker for Super Climax form, because they definitely didn't for Violent Emotion Decade and Pink and White Belt Decades. So
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, they got that going. Yeah. And I think another improvement that I really liked, I guess, I don't know if it was really an improvement, but Wing Form uses like a similar base body to the regular ones, and they had that sticker that was so close to the bicep that I was very scared of. He definitely doesn't have it, but the rest of them definitely do. They still did that thing where, like, they had 3 slits in the sticker to wrap it around and conform to this conical shape. And that's not good. That was horrible. Still a horrible experience. Didn't like it. I guess I'm moving into my negatives now. The wings on Choke Climax, I'm glad they gave us the range of motion of 2 ball joints, but I personally just really don't like double ball joints or barbell joints in my figures, because it creates too much give, and I don't want to say it's loose, but it's easy to knock around. So you don't always get a good look out of it. Let's see. All the detailing you'd expect is there. Like, this is a really nice set. My only issue, I guess, with the play pattern is that when you're using the, quote, boys stars attacks, you have to take the antlers off of Blue's, off of Urotaros's shoulder piece, and put it onto whatever extra parts they give you. Like, they're not going to give you the extra horns because they do move around. So you have to swap them out around everywhere. But swapping out all the pieces and stuff for those attacks, the kick and the punch, those were pretty easy. Those were enjoyable. The chest falls out a little too easy on Super Climax. Like the Ryutaros chest piece falls out a little too easy, but it's fine. Honestly, Choke Climax, I think, is my favorite out of it. Liner looks great. I don't want to discount how good this thing looks. The sword is a lot of fun. The sticker for the sword, though, it got a lot more coverage than I was expecting, but you should probably be careful, because I applied it and I accidentally left a gap. So that, could have been better. But the stickers for the little faces on the sword, not too shabby.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. That was just me talking for a while. But I really like this set. If you have the first set, this is definitely a good get. Would I buy this without having bought the first set? Like, is this a good introduction piece? I mean,
it would be a weird choice.
I'd say... Huh?
It'd be a weird choice. I guess
it would be a weird choice, but also if you're on HLJ, Mandarake, or whatever, and you're trying to put stuff in your order and you see this on there, definitely go for it. Even if you don't have the first one, this is a fun set. The stickers are mostly out of the way of the articulation outside of the bicep one, but that barely factors in. So, and the legs, because I find myself posing those a lot more often. Really, the only one you'll have to be afraid of is liner form, but Ryotaro is a fragile dude anyway, so it works. Because it has silver bands around the hands and the feet, as well as the knees are stickered. So just be wary of that one. Yeah, outside of that, really good set to pick up. If you want it, definitely get it.
Dino is a series that is popular such that it's very cool that you got the second set on retail, and I have no doubt that there's going to be a third wave, and at that point they've got to add more riders.
Oh, sure.
They basically got all of the Dino stuff out of the way.
Yeah, they have no excuse to do more riders. And if it ends up at premium, I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't mind, really, because we got 2 stellar sets.
Yeah.
Oh, also, small side note, but there is a slight difference between the Climax form and the Super Climax form.
Oh, yeah, the helmet.
On the sticker. Yeah, but they did this thing where, like, if you accidentally mix them up, because one comes in one box, and the other one, the Cho Climax head, comes in the expansion set. If you accidentally mix them up, the back peg of the head that is always present, those are different. The one that comes in the standard Climax form is a square peg, and the Cho Climax form is a circle peg. So if you mixed it up or if you messed up, that's what either of those are. And the stickers are, like, they do have a slight difference. I barely noticed it, but they are different. So yeah, that's my review. Go get it. Even if you don't have the first set, these are a lot of fun. Yeah,
and I joked about
would recommend.
I joked about how this would be kind of a weird first one to get, but these are kind of like big moments for the series.
Yeah.
And wink form.
Yeah.
Technically a movie form, technically not.
Hey, Sieg is big. He was a pretty big pivotal moment. How can you not forget Sieg?
Yeah, I guess my head's too high.
Come on. Alright, cool. Yeah, so that was the review topic. What time are we at? Half an hour? My family was asking about if I wanted to go eat with them, so we might have to cut this short. But I did want to say, unless you did want to talk about 01 in general.
What'd you have to say?
Oh no, I was just wondering if you wanted to keep the podcast going or end it a little short. If we're about to end, then I have another announcement to make.
If you want to go eat with your family, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Sorry. But yeah, so again, we've got another announcement. This is what we'd call a podcast, but it's only hosted on YouTube until today, or rather a week ago, because this brand new app that we discovered, and you might have already heard about it because it's actually a sponsor. If you listen to the podcast itself on the podcast app, we're using Anchor now, and it's a free podcast hosting site, so we're able to put all of Sotopop on there. So far, I only have 10 episodes up at the time of this recording, but I'm hoping by the end of this week or next we'll be all caught up, because I'm also adding all the information in there and making new thumbnails for each of them. So they're all being done up really nicely, and if you ever wanted the audio version, our podcast is available. It's available on Anchor and on Spotify. If you are an avid Spotify user, it will be there. I'm trying to figure out how to get it onto Apple Podcasts because that's what I used to use. So we'll see. Like, Anchor is able to put it on other podcasting sites themselves. Like, you don't have to. They'll do it for you somehow. I'm not 100% sure. And this is sounding like an Anchor plug, which, again, if you're listening to this in the future on the podcasting app, we actually get to chop up our episodes and put sponsored segments in between. And they are a sponsor for us, technically, because they want any of the creators to start promoting their stuff, which makes sense. It's smart. But yeah, like that's we're an actual audio platform podcast now. Yeah. Hooray! We did it. Yeah, that's the only major announcement. If you haven't had your fill of Soto news, yesterday hopefully was another episode of the Soto Pop News Breakdown. Last week, Josh did an episode on the Tokyo Toy Store for Soto Sundays, and will be one next week. And as usual, you can catch the translated versions of the blog posts on the Tokusatsu Network by Malunis, as well as various reviews and stuff on his wiki. Wikidot. Yeah, that's all in the description down below. There's tons of Soto stuff, tons of candy toy stuff you could check out if you're interested in candy toy whatsoever. Also the Discord. Hopefully by the time you guys are listening to this, it will be ready and in the description down below. And again, if it's not there, I'll let you know in the description and on Twitter. So guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.
I have no clever outro, so bye-bye.
Oh.
Fire! Authorize.
Toraka!
Progress!
Explosive power of 100 bombs.
Shodo-x!